Hi everyone, welcome to The Grind, which is our weekly episode where we talk about the sermon that we heard this past weekend. Today we have Nathan.
Hello.
And Lexine. And yeah, so last week we heard Pastor Ed speak about Mount Gilboa. For those of you who are just joining us, we are going through the 9 different mountains in the Bible. It's been an amazing series because we've been learning so much about the different mountains. And yeah, again, just like the different significance for each mountain and just the different things that happen. Yeah, and anyway, so Pastor has been talking about Mount Gilboa and how it represents, you know, a mountain of triumph versus a mountain of tragedy, depending on who you are. So it's kind of contrasting between the life of Saul and Gideon. So I guess with Saul, we saw that, you know, he was a promising young king. You know, I think he became king at age 30.
Yep.
And, you know, he was anointed and everything. But his life didn't turn out that awesome at the end. I mean, Guy turned out to be real jealous. So his life was one that was fear-driven. So I guess the question is, do you guys have fears?
No, I'm completely fearless.
Ah, yeah, right.
That's not true. Why are you laughing? Why are you laughing?
Because I know what you're afraid of.
We all know what you're afraid of.
Yeah, fair enough, everyone does.
Everyone knows what he's afraid of. Nathan, why don't you tell the internet what you're afraid of?
Snakes on a plane?
Oh, that's the best movie ever, actually.
Are you actually afraid of snakes on a plane?
I'm legitimately scared of snakes and flying, so put it together, snakes on a plane.
It's the best movie ever.
It's not.
I would pay to watch that movie with Nathan.
No.
I would pay to see Nathan on a plane with snakes.
Here I am being vulnerable, telling people about my fears.
You should
And
have simulation.
getting mocked for the trouble.
What am I afraid of? Like physical fears? A murderer?
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah. Like, you know, a very famous serial killer. Like,
Wow, this went dark real
Yeah.
quick. It's not normally like
sorry,
this.
no.
We're just being, you know, honest and vulnerable with our
yeah.
fears. I don't know what I'm scared of this, but I really don't like clowns.
No, you're scared of clowns.
Oh.
Judging by your reactions to Pennywise,
So
you are
you
scared of clowns.
you haven't watched it?
No, I've never watched. Well, I may have watched snippets of it, but I will never watch it.
Yeah.
But let's be real right now. Are there any like fears that you have besides, I know, snakes, serial killers, clowns? You know, let's share. This is a safe environment. We won't mock you. I won't.
Actually, my number one fear right now is the audio not recording.
True.
I'm like about to check
Yeah,
right now.
Michelle's
Is
like-
it recording? Is it
Literally
recording?
like-
Yep, recording. It's recording.
Are we not all fearful of failure?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's the Asian ingrained within us.
Yeah.
Like genetically or like
Culturally, I
or
don't know.
culturally? Why are you looking at me like that?
I'm learning.
She's learning.
I'm learning.
Not doing well at work, says our intern to her 2 superiors.
No, our intern's doing fine, I think.
Yeah, I think she's pretty good.
Intern appreciation.
That's right.
Yeah.
If you check out our post,
Yeah.
intern
On
appreciation.
Instagram.
You know, I guess this past year and a bit has been a pretty tough time, not just for us, but the whole world, right, with the pandemic. And do you feel like during this time, has it revealed fears that you never knew that you had? Like for me, like the whole fear of being alone, right? I didn't realize how I didn't like being alone until like COVID, because I think this is my first time living by myself, and I didn't realize that I actually struggled spending time with my own self. It's like, what do I do with all this time? And so that's why I just felt a little bit lost and kind of like, yeah, not liking being alone. So I was just, you know, but then it also taught me what it looked like to spend time with myself, to actually enjoy my own company. I mean, like even if I was with people, like, or at the end of the day, if I'm not with a person, like I'm still with myself, right? If I don't like to hang out myself, you know, that's a huge problem, right?
Yeah.
If I don't like to hang out myself, what makes me think that people want to hang out with me, right? So I think it taught me a lot about that. So Pastor Ed contrasted, like at Mount Gilboa, the life of Saul versus the life of Gideon. Now, Gideon was, you know, someone who conquered fear. But truth be told, though, when the angel of the Lord first approached him, he wasn't exactly like the most like, I don't know, like courageous man ever. But then the angel of the Lord appeared to him and basically was saying that he was going to be used to do amazing things. And he said this like, "Oh, mighty man of valor." Like calling out something within Gideon that Gideon didn't even know that he had. Basically awakening a strength within him. And I think that's why I like what Pastor Ed said, is that there is a strength and might waiting to be awakened within us. And sometimes God wants to use us to show his power and might, but it's only if we are available. So I guess, have you found situations where you've conquered your own fears?
No, I'm still scared of snakes. No,
Not even like a petting zoo.
cannot.
Like if I held a snake right here.
Yeah.
No.
Have you ever like touched just a little bit?
No.
They're
I remember when we were hiking once,
Oh, yes.
and someone behind me yelled snake. I just bolted down the
I think I
hill.
was with Nathan in this thing.
Like I just cannot.
Oh, I think for me, life is always a series of conquering fears. Like I won't say I'm like a fearful person, but there are definitely things that trigger situations that trigger fears that I never knew that I had. And sometimes I try to sweep it under the carpet and just like, it's fine, but then I try to avoid it. But then sometimes it does take that strength, it does take that faith to overcome that fear. I guess with Gideon, he just knew that he chose to have faith versus like, Saul. Saul was just like trying to do things on his own, but Gideon chose to have faith and just, follow along what God was doing. And, God really blessed him. So
With victory.
with victory, yeah. So, I mean,
Nice.
but basically, yeah. And on a serious note, I know, yeah, like fear of snakes is going to be hard to conquer.
Oh, no.
I mean, I will be so excited the day that Nathan actually touched the snake.
Do not throw a snake at me.
I won't throw a live snake at you.
When's
That's
your
just-
birthday, Nathan?
We'll get you a nice
Not
present.
soon.
But yeah, but on a serious note, like, has there been situations where you're fearful to do something and then you actually overcame that fear and saw how God just come through?
Yeah.
Yeah, Nathan.
Yeah, Lexine. No, I think after I dropped out of uni the first time,
Oh yeah.
and then I had to go back and do it all again, and then because you don't know whether it's going to go the same, and like basically I was scared of failing again, but just surrendering it and then not thinking about it and just becoming the live embodiment of the Shia LaBeouf meme, like
Oh, just do
it. So yeah, just do it, and then yeah, things worked out fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not so much like, I don't think it's like getting over a fear, but it's like acknowledging it, but still doing something anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like I said, like life is a series of conquering fears, and I never really liked public speaking. Actually, hated it so much, and so when I was first thrown to do public speaking, I was just nervous, really, really nervous, and I just did it anyways, and turned out to be good. And I still get nervous doing public speaking, but I think each time it's just like gotta conquer it. It's like it's not. Especially when I'm on stage like preaching, it's not me that's speaking. It's not about me. It's about God. And so it's just kind of have faith, like just to get over that and just like release the word of God. Because yeah, at the end of the day, I did my prep. Just do it.
Just do it.
I did my prep. And I just gotta trust that the Lord would just see me through. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think for me it's about being like I used to be afraid of being vulnerable or like being vulnerable.
Yes.
Like that
Actually, I agree.
opening up to people about like my problems or like even how God has moved in my life, that initial vulnerability of like
Yeah.
trying to see a testimony. And I feel like God's trying to, it's similar to you, it's like, oh, it's not about me, it's not about like it's not about me, but more how God used me or how God has moved in my life. So that fear, like that, being able to express and share like, oh, these are my triumphant moments with God. Like even though it might make me look bad or it might be like, you might be worried that people don't care.
Yeah.
Just like pushing through and just realizing like, oh, I just want to direct people to God. And like, this is like an amazing moment that God has pulled through in my life. I think that's definitely what has helped me a lot, or like
That's
I've
really good.
learned.
Yeah, no, that's good. No, I can resonate because like, it's scary to be vulnerable because you never know who's going to use that information, right? They can use it against you and whatnot. So, I mean,
Yeah, cut back to about 5 minutes ago.
sorry, Nathan. Thanks for being
You're
vulnerable.
forgiven.
But, we just mess with you because we know that you are a tough man who can deal with us.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Sure. Yeah.
But yeah, vulnerability is a challenge, but vulnerability leads to connection. So like, yeah, God, like what Pastor had said, God is the source of our courage and strength in times of crisis.
Yep.
And, you know, sometimes in the toughest times, we experience the most growth. So, yeah, the question is, what areas in your life will you be like Gideon and place your faith in God?
I feel like also like we shouldn't rely on the tough times to continue like have strengthening our faith
Yeah,
in
yeah.
God. It's like yeah, we have those tough times where we lean to God for all that strength we need, but at the same time remembering like oh God pulled through in the tough times, so we should continue
Yeah.
to like reach out to God because
Yeah.
I know so many
That's a
people
good point.
Yeah.
who
Yeah.
just focus on like oh they went through this hard time, okay that's it, and then it's
Yeah,
like,
and then like good times, like, okay, fine, bye God. And then it's like, oh, tough times, oh God, where are you? Oh, we're good. Okay, cool. And then it's like,
It's like up and down.
yeah.
no, it should be consistent. So, yeah.
So wise.
I know. So wise. Who would have thought?
Because I'm under their wing.
We didn't pay her to say that.
No, we didn't.
Yeah.
I think for me, easy, my future. Yeah, having faith that God is committed to the best plans for me. That maybe His best and perfect will for me is something that I never imagined. Maybe I have an idea of like my life being one way, you know, but then maybe God's plan is just a better way, and I just gotta trust that God has the best for me and have faith.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, if you're watching this, I just want to encourage you that to live a life of faith and don't be overcome by fear, to know that when we have faith in God, we can believe for God to do the impossible, that He really is for us. So don't be like Saul and be overcome by fear, but be like Gideon and conquer your fears. And I think in God, we can have a beautiful, beautiful beginning. You know, like Pastor ends the message talking about like bitter end versus beautiful beginning. And I think with Jesus, when we trust Him, we can have a beautiful beginning, no matter where we're at whatever point of life. You know, with Jesus, things are always, always better. All right, so yeah, again, thanks for joining us. Feel free to drop any comments, questions in the chat, in the comment section. And yeah, we'll catch you next time. Bye.
See you.